Hello there guys and welcome back to Blues Fans TV for my, press conference reaction, Lampard's press conference reaction / Liverpool versus Chelsea, or Chelsea versus Liverpool rather, preview in the FA Cup in the 5th round of the FA Cup, which takes place tomorrow evening on Tuesday evening at Stamford Bridge. And I'm pretty sure we're all buzzing for it. You know, it is only the FA Cup. You know, I don't want to lessen the FA Cup by any means, but, you know, it is just... It's still only the FA Cup. You know, who knows how much rotation both teams are going to do, even though Lampard kind of hinted at not doing any of it. Who knows what Liverpool's going to do. I mean, the last game in the FA Cup that Liverpool played, they didn't even play a single first-team player. And Jurgen Klopp didn't even turn up. So who knows what's going to happen. But yeah, you know, let's just talk about it. We'll try to dissect it all. I will, of course, react to what Frank Lampard spoke about and mentioned in the pre-match press conference, which, of course, should be very, very interesting. And Dom, shut up. Absolutely shut up. As you can see, this video is sponsored by OneFootball. So, you know, please go down into the video description below and download the OneFootball app via that link down there. It is the best football app out there. You will definitely not regret downloading it, and it would also help us out massively, so it would be massively appreciated. And of course, if you haven't already, also be sure to subscribe to Blues Fans TV and make sure you hit the notification bell button so you don't miss any of our future videos / live streams / you know, whatever else kind of content we do put out for you. But let's just get into it now and talk about, you know, the press conference by Mr. Frank Lampard. And of course, first of all, and always the most interesting bit at the moment, was injury news. You know, he spoke about injury news. Now, we actually have picked up a new injury, which is bloody brilliant, because Andreas Christensen, according to Frank Lampard, has a small issue. He will be given another 24 hours to possibly be fit, to see if he is fit, but more than likely he's going to be out of tomorrow's game. It doesn't sound like it's going to be anything serious, and possibly he's even going to be back for the Everton game on Sunday, but he probably is going to miss tomorrow's game against Liverpool. He also confirmed that Tammy Abraham has actually been to Barcelona to see a specialist to basically have another set of eyes on his ankle injury, and did actually get some positive feedback from that, but he's actually unwell at the moment anyways, with a bit of a bug. Apparently not the coronavirus. They didn't actually ask, but who knows? But yeah, so regardless, it wouldn't really have made a difference at the moment because he's not in training anyways, even light training, because he's been a bit ill. And also none of the other injured players are back fit. So Christian Pulisic, Hudson Odoi, N'Golo Kante, and obviously, as I just mentioned, Tammy Abraham are all still out. And as for Loftus Cheek, who, you know, me personally, if you watch my videos, you know, regularly, you know I'm a huge fan of Loftus Cheek. And I just keep waiting for him finally to make his comeback from that bad injury and to make his debut this season. It's still not going to happen. As, you know, rather than finally getting minutes, you know, for the first team after being on the bench for 2 games already and never coming on, he is actually playing for the under-23s tonight to get 90 minutes or close to it, at least, according to Lampard, which is good because that's getting him a lot more minutes than he probably would get for the first team tomorrow night. But still, Lampard also said that we will go out to win the game. Whatever team he will pick, will go out there to pick the team, and whatever team he will pick, he will think is capable of winning that game. And he is unlikely to make anywhere near as many changes as he did in other cup games this season. For example, in the last round against Hull, he made 8 changes. Lampard didn't actually necessarily say as such today, but sure did after the Bournemouth game on Saturday, you know, in the post-match press conference, basically. You know, just to lay it out for you, kind of what the kind of hidden stuff that he said in his weird sentences when he's trying not to confirm anything, but kind of confirms loads of things at the same time. He basically might make a couple of changes, but for the most part, there will be near no rotation. That's just my opinion. That's what I took from it. But I guess we'll just have to wait and see. He was also asked whether Kepa is in frame to come in for the game tomorrow. Lampard said, yes, you know, he is. And again, found praising words for his attitude and professionalism. I guess we'll just have to wait and see whether he comes in. I'll talk about, of course, my expected lineup, my predicted lineup, and the lineup I hope for in a little bit later on in this live stream / video. The boss also said that he presumes that Liverpool will put out their strongest team, or at least thereabouts. And that's the mindset we're going to go into the game with. That, you know, they will feel the strong team and not, you know, that we might play an under-23 side by Liverpool. As for whether it's a good time to play Liverpool after they've just lost their first league game this season after being absolutely battered 3-0 by Watford on the weekend, the boss said there's no science to it, but with the players and the manager they have, it's likely that they'll be very much, you know, out to bounce back and prove a point, which I completely agree with. I'll get into that later again as well. And then lastly, basically the last thing that Lampard spoke about was, he was asked about Benizar Cancelo actually on concerns that something is going wrong at the club in terms of how many injuries we've faced, especially recently, but generally, you know, this season. Lampard said, you know, he doesn't really think it's a case of blaming any part of the staff, whether that's fitness, training, medical, or anything else. Sometimes you just get unlucky because over the years we've had we've had a good record of injuries. We've never been the club with loads of injuries. Arsenal were usually that. When United were usually that, especially as of late. Us not so much, but this season we've caught it badly. And, some people have argued, is the training wrong? Is, there's not enough rotation? Is something, the style of play, is that so demanding for the players? What is going on? Especially with Christian Pulisic and stuff. It's not like our old players are constantly injured. It's our young players that are constantly injured, which is really frustrating as well. Pardon me, needed a drink. But yeah, let's move on. That was it from the press conference. And now, to be honest, let's talk about the most difficult bit of what I, speak about today. I was sat here all afternoon preparing this live stream, this video, thinking, just literally breaking my head into pieces, trying to figure out what I think Lampard's going to do, what kind of lineup I think he will come up with, and even what I personally will pick, because with the amount of injuries we have, it's not easy. Now, I would go for a 4-3-3. I think against Liverpool, anything but a 4-3-3, even a 4-2-3-1, is a bit silly. And I know we had Kante the last 2 times we played Liverpool, and the last 2 times that we went more than toe-to-toe with them and really gave them a good game on both occasions and were arguably the better team in the Super Cup. We feel that a 4-3-3 in both of those games. Actually, more of a flat 4-3-3 than we probably are capable of right now. But, this is basically my team. This is the team that I would personally go for. As much as, it might sound a little bit silly. But this is what I would pick. Kepa in goal for me. Try it out. If he plays well, he plays well. If not, Caballero has played well enough to stay in goal for the league now. The 2 centre-backs for me personally should be Zuma and Fikayo Tomori. I don't think we should drop Tomori again just because he didn't have his best game against Bournemouth. I think that would be very silly. I think Zuma deserves a game again. I think Christensen, we know Christensen is most likely to be out injured. Don't really think Rudiger deserves to get back in the side. So I would go with Zuma and Tomori. Let's go back to that that October period when we won 7 games on the bounce, when we had Tomori and Zuma in every game. Let's try and get back to that. Reece James should be the right back in my opinion. Azpilicueta should be the left back. Possibly Emerson for a bit of rotation, but more probably Aspi and Alonso as a full-on left back is just an absolute no from me. A midfield 3 of Jorginho is available for the FA Cup. He will be banned against Everton and he will be banned against Aston Villa in the league and of course also against Bayern Munich in the second leg of the Champions League. But he is available tomorrow but will miss the next 3 games. So whether you like him or not, whether you want him to start or not, Jorginho is going to start tomorrow because he will miss the next 3 games. Lampard isn't going to, make him drop him tomorrow as well and then miss the next 3 games with suspension anyways. I would be extremely shocked by that. Next to him, as we still don't have N'Golo Kante, Mateo Kovacic, and then Ross Barkley. I know you could argue, what about Billy Gilmour? Play, Billy Gilmour instead of Ross Barkley. And you could say, maybe so. They might field some couple of under-23s players as well. Maybe, I didn't put him in the end, but maybe. Maybe that is something we could go for. But I still think we need at least someone quick, somewhat tall, somewhat strong. And Barkley offers that, while Jorginho, Kovacic don't. And obviously Billy Gilmour doesn't either because he's tiny. So that's why I went for Barkley. I would personally pick Willian on the left wing, Mason Mount on the right wing. Yes, Mason Mount on the right wing. And then I guess Olivier Giroud up front, even though he's kind of dead tired. He's been tired for a while. And by the way, I hope the sound quality and the image and everything works fine and everything's synced. But, Giroud was struggling. That's why he didn't really play against Manchester United. That's why he only came on in that game. Then he played against Spurs but looked dead tired after 70 minutes. And again, in the last couple of games, after 60, 70 minutes, he's just done for. And I meant it, what I said in my, video after the Bournemouth game. If only it would work. Play Marcos Alonso up front. Play Marcos Alonso up front. Why the hell not? Seriously, why the hell not? I mean, yeah, maybe scrap Barkley and play Alonso in midfield, play Mount in midfield and have Alonso on the wing, possibly. But personally, I think he would get us all extremely frustrated if Alonso, played on the wing, especially when we're trying to hit the break. Mind you, this is Liverpool we're playing here tomorrow, not Newcastle, who will only defend, so it's a little bit different. But why not try Alonso? Why not? He's the only one in the box that actually knows what he's doing, that knows where to be, that knows when to be there, that can actually shoot, that can actually head the ball. Because Giroud can do some of those things sometimes, but more often than not, he can't really. He's strong. Fair play to Giroud, and he's a good, team player. But his finishing really let us down. He should have made it 2-0 at Bournemouth, and then we get the 3 points. He didn't. We drew. It was disappointing. Why not? Of course, Lampard's never going to do it, but I think it'd be brilliant if we actually started Marcos Alonso up front. I think it would be absolutely, absolutely brilliant. But yeah, that's my team. As you can see, I spoke about it plenty now, but what would Frank Lampard do? What would Frank Lampard do? Now, I have no idea. I have absolutely no idea. I mean, I think Lampard is a smart man, but his lineup decisions recently, in my opinion, have been the opposite of smart. the absolute opposite of smart. So I have no idea. Chances are he's going to go for a 3-4-3 again and try to make my absolute head explode. That's what I think he will go for. What you can see on screen now, that's what I think he will go for. What I think he's most likely to go for, because it's really difficult to predict. Again, possibly Kepa, if not, obviously Caballero. A back three of Azpilicueta as a right centre back. Rudiger, I went with a centre centre back, and Tomori as the left centre back. I went with Rudiger for the middle one because Christensen is, well, most likely going to miss the game, but he's really the only one properly suited to that position. But he's most likely going to be out injured, like I said. And I mean, I know Zuma played the central centre back when we played 3-4-3 away at Lille, which didn't work in that game at all, as it does most of the time. But Rudiger was injured at the time. And I personally think Zuma is much better suited in a back four than a back three, hence why he's in my 4-3-3 lineup. But I don't actually think, Lampard will use him in a back three, because I think he's better suited to a back four than a back three. Simply because in a back three, the centre backs are more forced to be creative with the ball, which I think is his biggest, the biggest thing that he misses. He's decent. He can play a long ball, but he's just not quick enough on the ball to decide what to do, to move it around quick enough. He's just a bit, unorthodox and just heavy a little bit. Hence why I prefer him in a back four. So maybe now that Rudiger is fit, it will be him as the centre back and Tomori just stays on the left. Probably would make sense. Let's see what Lampard does anyways. Reece James still as the right wing back, having his work cut out, pardon me, especially if Andy Robertson plays. Marcos Alonso, left wing. Well, if we play a wing-back formation, obviously Alonso has to play midfield too. Will, I guess, have to stay Jorginho and Kovacic. I mean, I still don't want the 3-4-3, but if we go with it, it has to be those two, I guess. And then a front three of Mason Mount, probably Pedro, but I hope for Willian. And then Olivier Giroud up front. This is what I'm guessing here. That's what I'm guessing. I wouldn't be surprised if it's Pedro at all. I wouldn't be surprised at all. And actually, I wouldn't even be surprised if he goes for Ross Barkley and Mason Mount around Olivier Giroud again, like he did against Bayern and like he did against Spurs. Wouldn't be surprised by that at all. Like I said, I think 3-4-3 would go really, really badly wrong against Liverpool. Unless they play a really young and weak team, I think it would go really badly wrong. They are an extremely intense pressing team, and they don't stop running for the most part. That is literally the worst thing when we play a 3-4-3, especially playing a 3-4-3 without Kante. Please don't do it, Frank. Please, I'm begging you. Please don't play a 3-4-3. Honestly, I'm begging you. Like I said, they don't stop running. And for the most part, they're also physically stronger than we are. So in my opinion, we absolutely need a three-man midfield. We absolutely need it. I just hope that Lampard sees it the same way. And like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if he actually, just to play Alonso again, even though because he doesn't want him as a proper left-back, if that's actually the main reason why he sticks to a 3-4-3, because as much as I can, say, play Alonso up front, it's jokes and banter. It's not actually my decision here, is it? If I was in Lampard's shoes, I probably wouldn't dare actually starting Alonso up front. I wouldn't have the balls to do it, and I don't think he has the balls to do it, even though it might have actually crossed his mind. But I think just to play Alonso, he might just stick to the 3-4-3, even if he knows in midfield we'll be screwed. But he knows without Alonso, we're probably not scoring goals anyways, with all of these injuries at the moment. So it's disappointing. But yeah, that's kind of enough lineup talk. Let's just continue on, because a lot of this game is dependent on what kind of team Liverpool will field. So just to quickly touch on it, Jurgen Klopp said in his press conference that it won't be like the Shrewsbury game, especially the replay against Shrewsbury, which was during their winter break that they kind of decided we're going to have now, regardless of a possible FA Cup replay. And Liverpool literally fielded their complete under-23s, under-21 side, and somehow won. Even Jurgen Klopp didn't turn up, like I said at the beginning. But the German, Jurgen Klopp, did say that some of the boys that played in that game will be involved against us tomorrow, but he didn't specify whether they would start or whether they would only make the bench. And, he did confirm that, there will be some more important players, involved as well. He did also say Naby Keita is out injured, but both James Milner and Joe Gomez are back from injury. Jordan Henderson, of course, is still out, as, I'm expecting. He didn't actually mention it in the press conference. And I think Nathaniel Klein is also injured, but he wouldn't play anyways, let's be honest. But yeah, so like I said, but also, like Lampard said, I will presume that they will field a strong team, because you have to go into it like that. Maybe not their very best, but a very strong team nonetheless. Meaning we have to be absolutely on it, guys, right? None of this first 25 minutes in Bournemouth crap. None of that. Hard work, a lot of movement in every phase of the game. And that means on the ball, when you're in possession as the individual player, on the ball when the team has the ball, but you as the individual player aren't on the ball. You have to move around to give your teammates options to pass the bloody ball to. Work. And then, of course, when Liverpool have the ball, work your bloody socks off as well. And also showing some bloody cojones, unlike we did against Bayern Munich. Like, that was embarrassing. I'm still kind of embarrassed of how scared we were of Bayern Munich. It's only Bayern Munich. It's not, like, we shouldn't be scared of anyone, right? I know our squad isn't that good. I know we have a lot of injuries, but we shouldn't be scared of anyone. We went toe-to-toe with Liverpool. We went toe-to-toe with Man City. We went toe-to-toe with plenty of big teams this season. And we're all right. But against Bayern, we were scared. Still annoyed about it. But like I said, I'd actually genuinely play Alonso up front. Why not? Just go for it. Just, why the hell not? Giroud misses sitters. Cost us the win against Bournemouth. Michy Batshuayi, of course, misses sitters. So why not try Alonso while Tammy Abraham is out injured? I mean, we can't do it to Liverpool what Watford did when they battered them 3-0 on the weekend. We're not physical enough for that, in my opinion. And we're also not defensively... I'm not going to say we're not defensively good enough, which is also true, but we're not used to playing defensively enough to try that, in my opinion. But like I said, we have gone toe-to-toe with them before the season. Even though we had Kante in those games, I mentioned all of that before. But in the Super Cup, we were a better team, in my opinion. We just were. So let's not be scared. Let's do our thing. Let's play our football that we know we can play, even with the injuries. And we might not win, but let's stick to our thing because, everyone always talks about we want to do what Klopp and City and Pep did with Liverpool and City respectively, give the players time. Klopp and Liverpool and Pep didn't out of nowhere, we actually might not quite be good enough here. Let's just defend like we did against Bayern. No, that's not what they did. They trust their ideas and their process to try and move forward. That's what we need to do. We need to stick what we want to be moving forward. And we need to go with that. We need to go with that, in my opinion. And then, as long as we start covering the far post for crosses, we are very likely to score, especially if they, for example, give Van Dijk a rest or something. That'd be handy. And then it's just about minimising/eliminating our stupid errors at the back. And then we can most certainly beat them, depending on, how, strong the team is that they will field. As for Liverpool, I'll keep that short today because it's, like I said, impossible to predict how strong a team they are going to field. What I can say is that they have an unbelievable spirit in their team. As much as I don't like them and as much as I'm very happy that they now obviously won't go unbeaten through the league, even though I'm not even sure whether I'm that happy because, it just means Arsenal fans are more happy. So, I don't know. Not really sure. But even though I'm kind of happy about that and I really don't like them, they have an unbelievable spirit. They have a top-class manager and they are the best team in the country, very possibly in the world. But I personally think them losing to Watford is literally the worst thing that could have happened to us. Literally the worst thing. Even if Klopp said it won't have an effect on the team we will field against us tomorrow, I don't believe that for 1 second. And even if it is true, let's say it is true, whoever plays will be even more up for it after that defeat against Watford. Even if they didn't feature in it, it's still something that's around, the club, Liverpool. They wanted to go unbeaten. The club said himself, at least we can play, with a bit more freedom again now. Because, you saw with Arsenal, as much as Chelsea fans, we like to joke about it, Arsenal, you had like so and so many draws that season. Well, we had one loss, but way less draws and way more wins. Yeah, but had we still been unbeaten come, I don't know, late April, we might have played for draws. Who knows? Maybe we would have been better at it and still won 1-0 every game because it was Mourinho days, isn't it? So, that makes sense. But it's different, and I can see how it would make a difference to a team. So, in my opinion, the game tomorrow will be bloody difficult. Their fullbacks are dangerous, depending on who they start there, of course, but their fullbacks are dangerous. Their midfield is very good. Henderson missing is a positive for whatever kind of team they field. Henderson not playing because he's injured is a positive because he's really stepped it up for them. And especially if they play their best front three, it's a problem. But as much as they have individual quality, their collective is what's dangerous. Their collective is what's the really dangerous thing. They work so well together as a team. They know where to be when another one moves out of position to press, when another one moves out of position to follow another player, to just make good runs. They know what to do for each other because they've been working together for a long time and they know the system. They know it really, really well. So like I said, we need to be absolutely on it because even on our best day, Liverpool are likely to run, to outrun and outwork us, That's just how it is. And in all honesty, I'm not particularly hopeful, but I hope that the players understand that if we knock Liverpool out, if we beat them, that is our chances of winning silverware this season, of winning the FA Cup, massively increase. I mean, obviously, if we lose, we're out. So, obviously, beating them, makes it more difficult. But say, compared to if we played someone else, and Liverpool just played, in a different game against someone else. Liverpool is, I think, kind of the only team that on their best day, with their best team, I don't see us beating. Even though we got so close twice already, but that wasn't them on their best day. But everyone else, even Man City and everyone else, I think we can beat with a bit of luck. But even if they're on their best day, and even if they don't have injuries, I think we can beat all of them. We can equally lose to everyone. Could lose to a League Two side quite comfortably, because that's just how, you know, inconsistent we are this season. But I think we can also beat everyone, except Liverpool, when they're at their best and when they feel the best team. But I don't expect that to be the case tomorrow. So if we beat them, we actually stand a little bit of a chance of winning a trophy. We'd be in the quarterfinals of the FA Cup already. You know, it is quite close. I'm not saying if we win, we're going to win the FA Cup. Not by any means. But it still is, you know, much bigger chance than if there was still Liverpool was somewhere else to be drawn against in the quarterfinal, in the semi-final, or in the final. So I hope that the players understand that, because, you know, who knows whether we will make top 4. I hope so. I'm not sure whether we will, but I hope so. A trophy at the end for Lampard's first season, that'd be brilliant. So, you know, that'd be good. But like I said, I'm still not that hopeful. There's no replays in the fifth final of the FA Cup. Not sure whether I mentioned that already. So it will be decided tomorrow, you know. And I wouldn't be surprised if it went to extra time or even penalties, actually. But my God's honest prediction, I don't like doing that on a Chelsea channel, you know, being a Chelsea fan. But my God's honest prediction is a defeat in extra time, sadly. But again, that's just assuming they'll field a strong team. The weaker their side is, the bigger our chances. Yeah, no, Michael Owen. But, you know, it's just what it is. If they don't feel that strong of a side, that might change my prediction. But, yeah, guys, I think I'm going to leave it here. Now we'll get to what you guys have put in the chat. Let me just listen to that, what you guys have to say. Is City still in the FA Cup? Pretty sure City's still in the FA Cup. Sarri at least had a structured way of playing, meaning we were structured against a transition. That is true to some extent. We were more structured on the Lampard when we had less injuries. And when we didn't play a 3-4-3 with Jorginho and Kante, but that's on Lampard for playing that. Not that Kante's injured, not necessarily anyway. So to some extent I agree, to some extent I don't agree. But yeah, I would just answer to a couple of things that you guys put in the chat. Not sure whether you can hear my cat, he's kicking off. But yeah, and then, you know, I'll end it there basically. We should try something new and play only one player pivot, Kovacic, and play Mount as a cam. Pedro and Willian on the wings. The shape in our last 10 minutes against Bournemouth looks very offensive. Yeah, but let's not try it against Liverpool. How about that, mate? Doesn't sound very good at all. In the league, when we played them, we had a goal ruled out for a marginal offside. If it had stood, it would have been 2-2. So we can beat them. Like I said, we can beat them. We can most certainly beat them. Can I watch the game on live TV? I'm pretty sure you can. It's the FA Cup. Isn't it probably going to be on BBC even? I'm not sure. I don't live in England. Sorry, mate. It's going to be on the zone in Austria, so, you know, that's why I'm watching it. Should Kepa play? In my opinion, Kepa should play. In my opinion, Kepa should play. And then we can find out what the situation is, what kind of mental state he's in. Does he look like, you know, he's absolutely done out here? Or does he look like there's still some fight in him left? If he performs, it's a debate to be had. Should he play against Everton? If he doesn't perform, really has to be back and go. The owner of the Chelsea page on Facebook that your video shares on. Cheers, mate, Whitmus. Not sure if I understand your sentence completely, but cheers, mate. I hope Kepa plays tomorrow. Like I said, I do as well. We should try Kante as a DM and play through cover. And Ruben, well, Kante's injured, and Ruben plays in the under-23s tonight. So, no. Well, not tonight anyways. Kepa in, Caballero out. Lampard, please play Kepa. If Kepa plays 2-0 Chelsea, if Caballero plays 2-1 Liverpool. That is illogical. Why would we score less because Caballero plays? 199. We are invincible. You couldn't beat a pop team. Couldn't even beat Olympiacos, for fuck's sake. You couldn't even beat Olympiacos. Making me angry, Zane. Making me angry. But I do appreciate the £1.99 donation. And also, what I was really curious, mate. Why do you always donate in these like £4.99, £1.99? It's not a store, it's not bloody Tesco. You could just donate in, I don't know, £2, £5. And I know that's basically me asking for 1p more, but like if you want those to donate in, you know, £4 and £1, you know, get what I'm saying? What about round numbers? I have a bit of OCD, so I would like that. Sorry, didn't know you live in Austria. Yeah, I do, mate. Sorry, mate. I do. Caballero concedes 2 goals every game. Kepa should play. I mean, Caballero has conceded 2 goals in every game, but very few of them have actually been his mistake, have they now? Striker options to sign in the summer. Now, that is a very interesting one. Now, there was, of course, a lot of talk about signing Dries Mertens quite possibly this summer. But he very much so looks likely now to extend his contract at Napoli, which I said all the way through. He loves Napoli. He loves both the city and the club. He loves it. So I was very surprised when I heard about the rumours that he would leave in the first place. But it looks like he's going to stay now, so that's out the window. And then it just depends. Do we make Champions League football or not? If we get Champions League football, we can think about better striking options than if we don't. Should we consider someone like Jimenez from Wolves? Possibly. Should we look at Jovic? Because You know, he's not really getting anything at Real Madrid. Not really getting anything. You know, we could try that. We could look at a couple of other options, but it's really difficult to talk about, to think about, without knowing whether we're going to be in the Champions League or not. We can beat Liverpool tomorrow. I agree we can. Chelsea Till I Die fan page. Oh. Up the Vitmas. Really do appreciate it. Some of the videos you guys made are shared on my page. Appreciate that a lot, mate. It's actually scary how we concede 2 goals so quickly against Bournemouth. It's scary how we did that against Bayern and against Bournemouth and against other teams as well. It's literally a problem. Lampard not smart with lineups. My opinion, lineup was dreadful. I agree. I absolutely agree. And I couldn't agree more. I spoke about what lineup I would go for. If you didn't tune in at that point, you know, literally just wait until this video is processed and then you can watch it as a whole separate video on the channel. I massively appreciate that. As you can see on screen, and as I said in the beginning, this video is sponsored by OneFootball. So please go down into the description below where there is a link to download the OneFootball app to your phone. And please only download it via that link, because that will just help us out a lot. Makes it easier to, for example, go to Munich in a couple of weeks if, you know, the UEFA for the coronavirus don't suspend it, which, you know, that'd be brilliant. But yeah, so it helps us out in a load of things. Please download the app. It's the best football about there. You definitely wouldn't regret it at all. And of course, also subscribe to Blues Fans TV if you haven't already. Drop a like on this live stream if you enjoyed it, or drop a like on this video. If you're watching at a later point, click the I button up there and, you know, give me your answers in the couple of polls that I put up there, what formation you would go with, who you will play up front, and, you know, a couple of others as well. So make sure you give me your answers in that. That'd be massively appreciated. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Up the Chelsea, and I'll see ya when I see ya.